Welcome back to the Don Bullock Morning Show on WHIG TV. We certainly appreciate the support, advertising support of Don Bullock. Hope you'll go buy a Chevrolet from him, and I know that you'll get good service there. Has a great dealership, and we are very appreciative of his diligence and faithfulness in supporting WHIG TV. Thank you, Don Bullock. Well, we're quickly running out of time here today, and I just wanted to thank Abigail for coming in and being part of our show today. I appreciate your lovely face. It adds a boost to my morning to have you here, and I appreciate it a lot. I know it's not easy crawling out of bed early in the morning and getting here, but thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me. It's one of the most fun parts of my week, to be honest.
Now, is your dad watching this morning, you think? Or is he still in bed?
I don't know. It's my parents' anniversary today, so I don't know if they're...
What a better way to celebrate an anniversary than watching their daughter on TV.
That's true. I don't know what they're doing. They might be busy today. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, let me tell a story here, and then this kind of bring us toward the end of our show. And the story is written up in the book I published, and the book is available on Amazon. The title of the book is A Methodist Minister Tells the Truth. Back in the day, I lived in Dallas, Texas, and this is so bizarre. I want to share it with you. We were very involved in First Methodist Church, Lancaster, Texas. And in fact, I was volunteered for a bunch of stuff and was actually put on staff, which, kind of was tough because I felt a little barrier between the people and me that wasn't there before they started paying me. So I made it abundantly clear that I was giving my salary back to the church. I didn't, at that point, need the money. I had a really well-paying job. So anyway, we felt the urge to get back to North Carolina. My dad had died suddenly, and wanted to get back home, kind of thing. Well, anyway, we announced we're moving, and there hadn't been a house sold in our neighborhood in 2.5 to 3 years. The economy was terrible. The 1988 recession that we didn't experience here quite the way they did in Dallas. Nearly every bank in Dallas and the whole state of Texas was in trouble. Hence, Bank of America was formed as a result of them buying out Texas Republic Bank and some other banks in Dallas. They got a bunch of tax credits to do that. So anyway, this guy in my Sunday school class named Darwin, give a shout out to his family, said to me he would believe there's a God if I sold my house. And before I could think about it, I spoke without thinking. I said, well, God's going to sell my house. I'm not going to put up a sign. I'm not even going to get a realtor.
Oh.
That was gutsy, wasn't it? Or crazy. Well, the day we moved, nobody had looked at our house. The Wheaton van truck driver came in and said, I like your house. I said, you can buy it. He said, I don't have a refrigerator. I said, you don't need to move that one over there. He bought my house. And as a matter of fact, to rub Darwin's nose in a little bit, to play with him, I had his wife signed on as power of attorney to do the closing on my house. Fast forward several months. And Darwin's response, by the way, to that was, John, you're just lucky. I said, luck had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
So anyway, several months later, I moved from Dallas, Texas, Metroplex, 3 million people at the time, much larger today, to a county in North Carolina that had 5,000 people in the whole county. And it was a tough transition for me and my family. One day I'm sitting at my desk, and I looked at the Rolodex, and I saw that in the Rolodex, I saw the phone number for the #1 drive time radio station in America, KVIL Radio, the #1 DJ, Ron Chapman. They were voted the best show in America by the General Managers Association of radio. So anyway, I picked up the phone, I called the radio station, and Ron Chapman answered the phone, which shocked me. I thought, wow, how did I get through to him? And we're bantering back and forth, and he said to me, are you anywhere near Mayberry? I said, well, it's right down the road a piece, and making fun of North Carolina a little bit. And we talked back and forth. I asked him to put me on hold so I could listen to the banter and the music, and just really playing with him. I had a great time playing with him. And I said, it was kind of clear I had time to get off the air. I've been on the air 3 or 4 minutes. I said, I want to give a shout out to my buddies and my friends I worked with at Dallas Seminary, and also I want to say hello to my friends at First Methodist Church in Lancaster, Texas, and especially my Sunday school class, especially Darwin Fields. Darwin had been an atheist. Mm-hmm. He had been in Vietnam. He argued with me. He's the only human being thus far, not that I haven't deserved it to happen more, The only human being thus far who cussed me out in Sunday school publicly.
Oh.
And rather than tackling with him or messing with him, I said, well, you're probably right about all that, but this is still the truth. And anyway, long story short, that day Darwin Fields was in his wife's car. He hated that radio station. He was a country western guy. This was more adult contemporary. His wife's car had all her presets on the radio to that one station. He's going down LBJ freeway, 75 miles an hour. Here's my voice. Pulls his car off the shoulder of LBJ freeway. Opens up his wife's glove box, finds a Gideon Bible, and makes a profession of faith in Christ on the side of the road.
Oh.
And he said to me later, he actually called me to tell me this. He said he prayed something like this: I'm so tired, God, of running from you and from John Check. And anyway, he went on a number of mission trips to different places around the world. Went one in Alaska, went to Brazil, I think a couple times, maybe Venezuela. Served God in various ways. He came out to North Carolina to bring our entire Sunday school class came out to help me paint one of my churches back in the day, back in the early 90s. Had a great event with him. Darwin had been in Vietnam and had been a drug user in Vietnam, had taken LSD, smoked a lot of pot. He suffered from chronic depression even as a believer. He had his ups and downs. He was once hospitalized with a mental illness issue, bipolar, I think. And anyway, he and my Sunday school class was so meaningful to me that we all joined the same golf course. And we paid $1,000 a year for unlimited golf on this 36-hole country club. It included carts and range balls and just a great deal. And on any given Sunday, when the weather was cooperating, and it was very normal, 8 or 9 months a year, we would leave church, go straight to the golf course, and play golf. Our wives and our little children would go to the swimming pool and hang out. We'd play golf. We played, I don't know, hundreds of rounds of golf together. And Darwin was just a dear, dear friend. The long story and short story of this is he decided to take his own life Saturday morning. And I am devastated by that loss. I understand the depression issue and so forth. I got in the loop of this because I wrote that story in my book. That's in the book. And a buddy of mine read the book and took it to Darwin. And I thought, oh my goodness, did he do that because the story tipped him over the edge? Well, he had not read the book. His wife had not read the book. She had it on her nightstand, was going to start reading it this week. His funeral will be January the 18th, and I'm trying to figure out whether I can get out there and go or not, but it doesn't look likely that I'll be able to do that. I said all that to say that, first of all, I love Darwin Fields and his family. And additionally, if you have a mental issue, if you have a family member with a mental issue, do not assume they're okay. Do not assume that even though they may have a smile on their face, do not assume that they don't need therapy, they don't need medication, they don't need help. Bipolar disorder is a very, very destructive disorder. If you need a counselor, I know Lindy Kitchen here in Rocky Mount is a great asset to our community. She would be glad to work with you and help you any way she can. Do not assume that your mental illness is going away. Mental illness is real, it's painful for everybody concerned, and it's especially painful for those who have lost a loved one. I said all that to simply sign us off the air this morning, my tribute to my friend Darwin Fields and his family. I don't know what else to say, but anyway, I believe he's in heaven. I think he's out of his pain. His emotional turmoil was real. And I can only imagine what it's like for his two daughters to be traveling in from Washington, D.C. to bury their daddy. I know that Kay, his wife, is a wonderful lady. She will be okay in time. He did it in his own home. And I think that, again, it's just hard to put a finger on how bad mental illness affects so many people. With that, we're going to sign off this morning. Thank you again for indulging me that moment. I wanted to get it out in the open and just talk about my friendship with this guy and the pain that it has created in my life. If you're considering anything close to suicide in your life, don't do it. It's too hard on the families around you, and it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Thank you, and God bless. Have a great morning.